People at the Douglas County Sheriff's Department say more than 60 pieces of mail have been stolen recently. Boxers and coaches are trying to raise more than $1 million to fix up and renovate this building. Check those deductibles, compare prices, figure out what's covered, and if it's right for you and your car. The troop thought it was doing everything right by parking the trailer in a place with security cameras, under a light, and next to a road with a lot of traffic. And right now, I'm gonna take you with me. This is how it works. Once the hefty energy bags end up at First Car Recycling, they're thrown onto this conveyor belt. Huckabee says they all reflect how our bodies are designed to protect us. He says we have to appreciate that messages are being sent to our brain. Hiding holiday gifts in a car might be easy, but it's certainly not safe, as a Bellevue woman says. A Greyhound racetrack in Council Bluffs will be closing soon, and that means hundreds of dogs like this could need a new home. Hundreds of local kids are waiting for a big brother, big sister, or big couple. People at the academy have to continue putting tarps up here to keep the water out. Hats, gloves, even some shirts and jackets are also here for homeless people to take.
My wife and I are still kind of in a state of shock at this point.
Shocked at seeing this tornado.
It looked like it just dropped down just on the other side of those trees and came this way.
And the damage James Joyner says it left behind.
The trees, of course, are all torn up. The most significant damage to me is the old barn, one of the oldest barns in the county. Well, that was kind of a heartbreaker. We have an annual barn party and invite all the people from the area. It was being used to store furniture and things that were salvaged from the house fire. We only been in the house for a month, so the new roof is brand new, except it's not now.
Because Joyner says baseball-sized hail hit the house.
We got a couple of porch railings out, the broken window in the front door.
All things that can be fixed, but for Robin Stahl's home,
it's a mess. A lot of work.
Stahl says the tornado not only damaged his home, but several items that were pretty special to him. One of them being his wife's urn. While he says he still has a part of it, her ashes are gone.
Yes, she passed away a year ago.
Now with the tornado damage, Stahl's facing another challenge. But like Joyner, he says he's thankful to be alive.
We'll get it cleaned up and continue to live here.
In Nahaka, Caiti Blase, Fox 42 News.
I really felt violated.
Violated because of what the owners of the game shop in Bellevue say this man did.
We saw the gentleman of interest slip it straight in his jacket coat.
General Manager Becky Alexander says she was working when it happened.
He was only in the store for maybe 10 minutes.
Not a lot of time, but enough to do some damage.
My coworker is the one that first noticed that there was a gap in our products.
Alexander says a specialty board game used to be on this table, but she says that's not all the thief swiped.
He also took some other small card game sleeves.
But what makes this crime even harder for Alexander to understand is just how nice the guy was.
He was very personable and polite, and assured me that he didn't need any help, but clearly he just helped himself.
Alexander says an average game costs about $50, and she says for a small business like theirs, even having one game stolen affects them.
Yes, it's replaceable, and yes, we'll recoup, but you know, that could be another new product that we're going to bring into the store.
A frustration for Alexander, and something she doesn't want other game stores to go through.
As soon as it happened, I reviewed the tape and I took pictures with my cell phone of our video surveillance and posted them up on our Facebook page.
Hoping that someone will recognize the crook. In Bellevue, Caiti Blase, Fox 42 News.
Fox 42's Caiti Blase explains why these items can cause your four-legged friends so much harm. Katie?
Well, Eric, this is my cat, Tommy, and he loves getting into flowers, and he's a little rambunctious right now. But, you know, today I actually found out that certain types of flowers, like lilies, could cause him serious kidney problems if he eats them. Now, while Tommy doesn't eat chocolate, dogs do. And I actually spoke with a woman today who had to take her dog to the vet after it got into some sweet treats.
Good dog.
You always think it's not going to happen to my dog.
Brooksbury's dog Roxy gave her a Valentine's Day surprise, but not the good kind.
While we were gone, the dog must have jumped from the dining room chair up onto the table and ate a bag with 9 Lindor dark chocolate truffles.
Dark chocolate, one of the worst kinds for dogs, as veterinarian Scott Yonker says.
She did ingest enough to potentially cause her to have some really bad vomiting and diarrhea.
I felt scared. I was about to cry.
But after bringing Roxy to urgent pet care, she was out of harm's way.
The owner recognized the situation. She contacted us. We brought her in. We evacuated her stomach. Gave her some anti-nausea medications.
While Roxy is just fine, Sperry says the situation could have been much worse.
It's a really good lesson for myself and the kids.
It's easy to keep chocolate lying on a table or counter, but it gives dogs easy access to it. Yonker says the best place to hide chocolate from a dog is up high in a cabinet they won't be able to reach. Yonker says the same goes for cats and certain kinds of flowers. He says if cats eat Easter or stargazer lilies,
Can damage their kidneys and cause them to go into kidney failure.
something no pet owner wants to go through, especially on Valentine's Day.
Has anybody else in that area reported something similar to this and been impacted?
Well, Monty, the man I spoke with says he's heard from neighbors that several other houses have been broken into in this area. And he says whoever is doing this is using some sort of device to open up people's garage doors. And he says after that, they're coming into the home through doors like this.
It certainly rattles you.
Tyler Hoffman says he and his wife have always felt safe inside their Bennington home. But after what happened Monday night,
The guy opened our garage door, didn't even alert our dogs, and came right in while we were sleeping. It is pretty scary.
Hoffman says his wife's phone gave them the first sign that something wasn't right. She has an app on there which tells them whenever there's someone outside their front door. They say a surveillance camera caught a man walking across their yard with some items in his hands.
Did end up taking a drill out of my garage, and he actually came into the house and took my wife's purse.
And Hoffman says they're not the only ones in the neighborhood getting ripped off.
Seems that most people lost a tool set, like a drill, like I did, and then the last thing they'll do is they'll sneak in the house and try to grab a purse or something that's close. It's kind of unnerving to know that they can get into our house so easily, even with doors locked and all.
But Hoffman says he's hopeful that with this video, the crook will be caught. Hoffman says all the doors inside the house were locked except for this one inside the garage. He says he plans on not only locking it from now on, but also updating security for the home. Monty?
Sounds like a good idea, Katie.